For those of you listening later on, we are in a Twitter space. For those of you listening later on, we are in a Twitter space. So it's going to take a few minutes for us to get kicking. It's going to take a couple minutes for us to get going all the way. So for those of you watching, listening later on YouTube, this is a Twitter space. So give me like a minute to get everything going. But in the meantime, to everybody up in this Twitter, what's up to y'all in the Twitter space? Yes. Should non-Black Americans be allowed to speak on hip hop? That is the conversation and the question of the day. And no, this isn't xenophobic. This is a question I'm asking. I'm not saying, just a question. With so many non-Americans being reckless or how they speak on hip hop and on our music in general, should they continue to speak? Should they be allowed to speak? Should we listen? Should we call these motherfuckers out every time they goddamn talk? We're here to talk about it. I'm definitely gonna want to put what's up, Nikki? Black Media, Nicole, what's up, y'all? So yeah. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. I want to have this discussion because so far, people, when you talk about Fat Joe or Pete Rock, China Mac, and all of these people, they tend, not to talk about hip hop and black music at all, really, from an educated point of view. You know what I mean? And not only is it not an educated point of view, it tends to be a fairly disrespectful point of view. On one hand, I get it. On the other hand, I don't. That's what I mean by I get it. I don't get the disrespect. No, I do not get that. When I say I get how they could be misinformed. I get that part. And I'm gonna get to the hands in a little bit. All right. So I'm gonna get to the hands in a little bit. Let me say this part, then I'll get to the hands out there. This is what I mean by that. These people, when it comes to our music, when it comes to them speaking on what we do, they tend to not be accurate with their point of view. And here's the reason why. And I said it before. It's like how Africa is viewed through Europeans. John Henry Clark said that a long time ago. Dr. Ben, how Europeans view Africa from an Egypt-centered point of view, and it sort of separate Egypt from the rest of Africa. They still do it to this day. Well, when you look at through the eyes of the European, when they came down to Africa through the Gaza Strip and through that way, their first connection with African culture was through Egypt. So when you see them tell the story of Africa as if Egypt was the prime place and it was the only place on that continent that was doing something great, and everything else going on in that continent was something different. We all thought, I thought that until Dr. John Henry Clark came along, until Dr. Ben came along, and people who had a more of a forensic point of view and information as to what went on in those societies. Well, same here in America. In America, we get people who immigrate to America and their first contact with American culture was through New York. Not saying all immigrants go to New York, but what is unique about New York? It's a few things. One, the spark that initiated a derivative form of rhythm and blues that we call hip hop. That did spark in New York. It did. I'm never gonna take that away from New York. But the wildfire happened because it was conditions that were synonymous with Black American culture nationwide. And every city that Black people were in took that hip hop thing and reformatted it into something that was in line with their region. And we all kind of just, LA had his version, Detroit had his version, Chicago, whatever. But when you get these people that came in from Jamaica or Puerto Rico to New York, one, they were there around when the spark took off. Two, New York is the center of media in America. We can never forget that. New York is where all media in America is centered. Now they have satellite offices in LA and DC and places like that, Chicago. But media, one Rockefeller Plaza, is that's where the story of America gets told first. So the combination of New York being the spark, and then that spark happening to be in the place that's the media center of the world gets magnified. So you get these people who are in that area thinking that are new to America, new to Black culture, new to Black society. These motherfuckers are really thinking that they doing something new. They really thinking that they doing something raw and real that's never been done before. Not understanding that right down the road in Philadelphia, there's another thing going on that's like hip hop, that is hip hop. Not understanding in Oakland, there's something else going on late 70s. That's hip hop. Not understanding LA. All these other cities where we located, there's something else going on. But since they came into a Black society through the point of view of New York, these people tend to New Yorkify our Black American culture. So the question is, should these non-Black people be allowed to speak on hip hop, understanding that the point of view isn't an accurately centered point of view? I'm definitely gonna want y'all comments as we talk on this. So yeah, definitely hit me request to speak so I can hear what you guys got to say. Right now, Alchemist.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
sir.
wanted to start with the fact, and that was a good intro. I'm going to default just for a minute and just try to indulge me for a second to the idea that the consumer and the corporation, those are the two parties that own hip hop as we know it. Why am I saying that? Well, if anyone is going to participate in the corporate structure, like a Fat Joe or Buster Rhymes, these people represent the corporate interest when they speak. And they're in control of this commodity that we're calling hip hop, which is, primarily a musical art form that's being sold. And we understand there's other aspects to hip hop and the elements and all that. But the primary, cash cow for hip hop has always been the music. So with that being said, you're going into contracts, right? You're going into contracts with corporations and you're selling your art. Now they determine what the art is being sold for and you agree or don't agree or whatever. But basically, if we're talking about the art of rap and the music that's generated in that art form and the art form itself, it's it's the artist's responsibility to have the integrity as an artist to keep the art pure, right? So when they go into these contracts with these labels, a lot of things get, misconstrued and things of that nature. So the art becomes for sale, therefore it doesn't belong to the artist anymore. Therefore, it's up for the highest bidder, right? So that separates it from culture automatically because now it's corporate, now it's a commodity, now it's consumerism. So I would say to answer your question in brief, I would say either the corporate interest or the consumers. These are the only, and primarily, and the artists too, in some cases. But after they sell their art, it's kind of left up for public opinion. That's kind of how art is, right? So now the fact that this is an art commodity, the only two parties that really make, and you can see how this works in real life. These are the only two parties that actually determine what the playing field looks like, what the results of anyone's art hitting the market are. It's the consumer and the corporate interest. That being said, we don't own our art anymore in terms of, or at least I'm not saying we, but the rappers, the people, the producers. And so a lot of people feel entitled to speak on something because they can have an opinion about it. Can they change the narrative? Okay, go for it. Go for it.
Question. We've never owned the art from going back to whatever, go back to jazz, we own it. But same as said when it comes to movies. When we're talking about, say, other white culture, and let's talk about them a lot oftentimes in their movies. They don't necessarily own it either. They don't own it. But what they have, if someone speaks against the truth of what they know to be true as far as their history, they still speak out against it and loudly, and no one complains. So, question:
I mean, to a degree, but I think
what does ownership of a publication? Remember, and it's also, what part do you own? A song is pieced up. Sometimes 30 different people own a piece of a song. You can sell your publishing and still own your music. Because you only sell, when you sell publishing, you're only selling aspects of your publishing. And really, you're leasing your publishing because there's a 30-day right to return. I mean, 30 years. 30 years it returns back to you. So you're not really selling your art either. You're leasing it. With that being said, how does that correlate with not being able to speak up for the culture?
So yeah, I'm not seeing, that was the point I was getting to, is the fact that, again, there are artists who are participants in the culture, but the ones who determine, and I'm just saying from a practical, objective point of view, I'm not saying how it should be. I'm saying just from, oh my God, these fucking dogs, hold on.
Yeah, I'm trying to say it from a practical point of view either. That's why I'm making sure that I bring up the point of the ownership thing. Because oftentimes, I'm glad you brought that up. Because oftentimes we get caught up in these who owns it. Fact is, a lot of people own it. Then they just own the public. I look at me.
Silence the dogs real quick.
Yeah, it's all good. Like I look at friends I know. I have friends that rap and they own their music. You know, I know people who written hits 50 years ago, and they've been getting paid royalties for 30, 40, 50 years on their music.
Right.
But then I have to listen to somebody say we don't own it. Yeah, that's a half truth.
So here's where I'm going with it, because we're the only group of people, Black people and hip hop fans, or at least people who attribute hip hop, to our culture and everything like that, as Black Americans. We're the only group of people who say we when we're talking about somebody else. When we're talking about this art form, like people who are fans of rock music don't talk about rock music. They don't have the same attachment the way that we do. And I kind of feel like it's a false attachment, because at the end of the day, it's the music business. Now, and the reason why I said the whole music. Yes,
hold on.
Well, just let me finish.
I'm gonna let you get to your point. No, I like to address things as they come up. Yes, they do. That's a major misnomer that they don't protect. They just allowed the Spinners in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this week, when the Spinners also every other doo-wop group of the 70s.
Right. Why would we even want to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? It's not. The Spinners ain't rock and roll.
Let's stick to the point. Yes, they do defend their culture. That is not their culture. That's still our culture. They just took that. That's some shit of ours that they took. Even that's not even theirs. But when they assume and take the majority stake in a genre, being the majority of artists that release a song in that particular genre, once they get that, they gatekeep it like hell. Funkadelic was an original rock band. Go back and listen to early 70s Funkadelic, America Eats Is Young, The Maggot Brain. That was rock. What they did was, as time, I'll distribute the part. What they did was, as time went along, George talks about, by 74 was the last album that Funkadelic got to, with the song, the album, Alice in My Thoughts and Red Hot Mama. Those are the last straight up heavy metal songs that they were allowed to release, because after that, the record labels started influencing them and pushing them more into funk as Led Zeppelin came along, as Pink Floyd and all these rock groups came along. They started pushing the black artists into different genres and not allowing them to to record in the genres that we created. And once they did that, they forewalled it and kept us out. And they defended it and called us crazy if we came and said that that was ours when their forefathers said it was ours. And the same thing with Latin music. When it comes to Latin music, when they take some, I look at what's going on right now in the Caribbean. We gave them Latin jazz. We gave them salsa. But every time, and I go to Latin jazz and salsa, I go to Latin jazz concerts maybe every weekend in LA in the summertime. They don't even allow dark-skinned people from Cuba to do their music, let alone Black Americans. Machino was a dark-skinned Cuban. They forewall their shit so much before it even gets to Black Americans, which we gave them the sound. Again, bebop is what gave them their sound.
I don't know. I'm gonna
They
have to
forewall
interject real quick with the
it. They
idea,
forewall.
the weism. Okay, let me just address that. The weism that I was trying to touch on.
What I'm saying is they forewall. We gotta go back to that point because I can't let that point go without being addressed. Everybody forewalls. Black people forewall the least. So before we go to the next point, we gotta make that be known. We are the least as far as aggressive at forewalling our culture. Let's make that very clear. Now go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say the we aspect. You know, each artist is their own individual person with their own individual story. Like I know these artists, they in themselves.
That's a non sequitur. I don't want to go on any non sequiturs. I don't want to go down any of that path. Let's stick to the general thing. We're talking about
Right,
genres. We're talking about
right,
genres of music.
right.
We know they're individuals, but we're talking about overall culturally genre. There's macro and micro.
Well,
We're speaking
right,
from a
but I
macro point of
mean,
view now.
I think the way that you're racializing it, it's not fair to the conversation of music, which a lot of
Why
these
not?
prominent musicians you're speaking of are
Why is it
influenced
not?
by.
Why is it not fair? Answer that. Why is it
Well,
not
look
fair?
at, okay, so for instance, someone like Miles Davis, right, who had Joe Zawinul, Chick Corea, John McLaughlin, a whole host. I mean, he had Gil Evans, Bill Evans, he had both the Evans. I mean, he had a whole host of white folk that were all around him. And yeah, he would tell them and correct them when they try to speak on the music, but it didn't stop them from having a hand in what that he did because he wouldn't have been able to do it without them. This is a fact. So
Let's
you would
okay.
have the
No. Okay.
Electric
Let
Miles
me address
era.
that. That's not fact. That's not a fact.
Yes, it is.
It's not a fact.
You wouldn't have
It's not.
Bitches
It's
Brew
not a
without
fact.
Joe.
It's not a
You wouldn't
fact.
have Bitches Brew without Joe Zawinul.
Can
You
you
would
stop
not.
talking? Can you talking? I'll let you talk. But it's not a fact. Cannot let you a fact, and it's not. Flat out.
So now you're just,
Miles
again, you
Davis.
can't
Miles
racialize
Davis.
music.
Davis was the person that
You can't
created the sound.
racialize jazz music. You can't racialize music the way you're doing it. It's not.
Yeah, he's out of here. He don't want to speak. He don't want to listen. You got to fall in line, son. Let's go back to the point he made. Because again, yes, I can racialize music because we created it flat out. Yes, I can, and I'm doing it. And you're not going to stop me, right? So back to racializing the music because this is America, and everything in America is about race. So yes, I can go with the American point of view because I am an American, been in this country since 1660, and everything about this country is race. My family's been a victim of it for almost 400 years. So chill. You notice every time black people win, you can't make it about race. Y'all notice that? Every time it's ours, every time we win, it can't be about race. So let's go into the Gil Evans point of view of Miles Davis. What he's talking about is in the early 50s, Miles Davis left New York and came to LA and created what's known as cool jazz, birth of the cool. And what he said was Miles Davis, he always said you can hear a white musician. You don't have to even look, you can hear them. They play a different way, they play a different style. Miles Davis was also managed, just like Louis Armstrong, just like everybody else, fucking mafia members. Black artists did not have autonomy. We see them as great legends now, but that's years after they made their way. In 1953, Miles Davis wasn't a legend. He was a nigga that had to release another album next year. That's what he was. And he had a deadline to release them goddamn albums. And he was teamed with people. And what Miles Davis said out of his own mouth, when they say arrange, when you look at the Spanish, the album, what's the name of the album? Miles Davis in Spain. That's by Bill Evans, the arrange. Davis basically said he was just sitting there. He wasn't doing most of the work. Those are Miles Davis's concepts that Bill Evans was hired to arrange. In the 50s, they did not hire black arrangers. Okay? So if someone makes a point where now you say they did not do it without certain white folks, that's true because there were white people involved. But when you say they could not, that's where the line gets drawn. Because black composers, black arrangers were still frowned upon. Hell, they still kind of are to this day. Quincy Jones, when he went and arranged for what's his name, Sinatra, that was a bold move. They didn't allow black. They didn't make black arrangers. So you had some black folks that could be the best arrangers in the world that were relegated to first trombone or piano because of the color of their skin. So you had black artists that worked with these white artists and told them what to do. And those white artists followed directions and did what the black artists told them to do. If the white artists could do it on their own, they would have. If white people could create new genres of music on their own, they would. They don't. Every wrinkle comes at our direction. Every wrinkle. He brought up Chick Corea, one of my favorite piano players. I've seen Chick Corea play live 20 times plus. I've seen him play live. Chick Corea is one of my favorite ever on piano. But he didn't mention Herbie Hancock was also playing piano on Bitches Brew. Black artists have always brought in white artists to help carry out our sound at our direction. Most of the time, especially when you're dealing with back in the day, it was not at our request. It was at the people who were funding the label's request to put those artists on these different projects. And even when it was the artist's request to do so, when they would bring in a white artist, that white artist was following directions. Yes, that's why it's about race. Because if we ain't the ones creating it, we're the ones giving the directions on the creation every time. And yes, this is definitely about race. I don't know what's wrong with some of you white motherfuckers. Y'all be thinking a lot of these niggas, see, y'all used to these niggas that back up when y'all bring up the race card. No, I don't back up on that shit. No, yes, it's about race. Yes, it is. That's what America's always been about. And if it isn't about race, show me the date and time it stopped being about race in America. Show it to me. Prove it. You can't. So it's going to be about race. Yep. It's time for black people to have a much higher level of cultural esteem. We've done so much. We've done so fucking much. And the minute we get to talking about it, here comes some old clown ass motherfucker. Well, it's not about race. Well, if it wasn't about race, why the fuck don't we ever get to reap the benefits about what we create? It's always about race when that money get handed out, ain't it? It ain't about race until the money comes. When the money comes, Adele gets to buy a $60 million mansion in Beverly Hills while Jaguar Wright struggles. While Percent Michelle got to go goddamn pick up a check to sing for Trump in 2016. I doubt she makes that decision. That a lot of black people blackballed her for that. I forgave her, but a lot of black people was on her ass for that. Well, I doubt she would have had to take that check had America and the racist record labels produced her and promoted her to the level her voice and talent required. If it's been so much good dope ass R&B dropping the last month, Brandon Williams dropped an album. Terrace Martin along with Alex Isley dropped an album. Truth Hurts has a new song coming out that just dropped. Oh my God, it's so much. Leela James. Why are these black women, black singers having to go work job to job, event to event, when someone like Dale, who sings a milk toast, dumbed down, corny ass version of what they do, can afford a $60 million house? Imagine if these black women, these black folks got that level of production and promotion that Adele gets. They'll let one black person get it, Beyonce. But after her, and even this last time, I remember here in LA, they was showing the Taylor Swift concert at the SoFi Stadium. They said they had like Beyonce wasn't here. So even Beyonce being the one black woman that's promoted, she's not promoted to the level of a Taylor Swift. It's always about race when it comes down to the money. But when we come down to the creation, who everybody copying their homework off of, all of a sudden it ain't about race. Kiss my motherfucking ass. Anybody else want to speak? Hit the we got Miss G up here, Woody Dynamite. Anybody else want to speak? Go ahead and raise a hand. I am definitely taking comments from everyone, questions. I want y'all to get raceable. I see you up in here. So we have to be very clear when it comes to that. We got to be very clear, and we got to be very, 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 very unapologetic about speaking up for who the hell we are. Can't apologize for that shit. No more of that. We came back when it comes to be about race. Yes, confront it, embrace it, run through that shit. Because the minute you take a step back, well, no, it's not about race. You done lost. Because a discussion, a debate, it's all about positioning. And the minute it's like sports. When you playing sports, I used to coach basketball. A lot of you guys play football or whatever. You're supposed to be, I said ball to my sister called. Her last name was ball. Anyway, in sports, you're supposed to be on the balls of your feet, ready position, ready to attack at all times. The minute you get on your heels in sports, the offense has you at their will. In boxing, basketball, football, tennis, anything like that, you stay off your heels. It's the same rules apply in rhetoric. Rhetoric and sports have the same exact set of rules, no different. My degree is in communication studies. This is what I do. You don't back off. You attack. You embrace it. When they hit you with something, you lean into it, you embrace it, especially when it's about race, and then you go on the attack. Because the person asking the questions is always the one in control of the conversation. The person asking the questions is always the one that we need to be asking the questions. We dictate the terms. We created the music. Everybody else follow. So when it comes to the conversation, we must always be in position to be having other people follow. We can't be going around. With that bullshit, letting them dictate the terms of the conversation. What's up, Miss G? Duncan, I tried to get you up here. You can speak after Miss G, but go ahead, Miss G. Get off what you got to say. No rush. Are you in the Matrix? I heard you say something.
Can you hear me now?
I hear you now. I hear you now.
Can you hear me?
I hear you now.
All right, good. Yes, hey, Dwan. No, thank you so much for always hosting these spaces, keeping your foot on the necks of these people in the industry trying to change what we have created. It's so thank you for that. But big shout out to you for this documentary. I cannot wait. I am going to be sitting with my family. We really should be having watch parties across the country for real. I think that would be huge if we can have watch parties, people representing in every state, just to set it off for you when you drop the documentary. And whatever hashtag you need us to be on, we can make that trend. That has to be a thing that happens when your documentary drop. Just saying.
Bigger than hip hop doc.
Oh, there we go. So we got the hashtag now
Bigger
on
than
that.
hip hop doc. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna be starting doing some listening and watch parties. I know I will host one myself. And we need to have some roundtables after that. Start pushing these documentaries to see if they can get into the schools. If they can't get into the schools, you create an outlet. I'm telling people to utilize their libraries. We can start creating learning spaces using our tools. We pay taxes for the libraries. Um, with this documentary that you have coming out, everybody can literally rent a space at the library, put some flyers out, and tell people to come out to the educational space for that music. And people come. People actually come. You can customize it for youth. You can customize it for adults, whatever you want. I think that's dope. Or find your best bar. Rock it out in there. You know, people do that too. But anyway, I just threw out a couple of marketing things for this for your thing. But I'm really excited for what you have going on. As far as your question, should non-black Americans be allowed to speak on hip hop? Hell no. The only thing you can do is be a guest. You can ask, can you use something? Hey, can I get the sugar? Can you pass me the sugar? Is it okay if I get some extras? But no, you can't have anything without our permission in this arena. That's like us going to Mexico and taking over sombreros. You know, we don't care about that. That's your business. That's your stuff. I think we created that too. But anyway, I just want to say, hell no, they should not speak on us. And on that note, I'll land and I'll chill up here with you if you need.
Yeah, I'll sit here and make you a co-host, if you don't mind. Yeah, so yeah, let's chop it up about that because I do want to create some watch parties next week. Because after the documentary, I'm doing a live Q&A. So the people who are in there, we're going to be filtered. We're going to be bringing in. Hopefully, I'll be able to answer. I'll be able to answer as many questions as I can. I'm stay around for like another hour, 2 hours after we all watch it together. And you can ask me questions. You can ask my director questions. And yeah, so that way, we can put it all on the line. Like you said, like when the dude commented earlier, I'll answer anybody's questions. I'm just not. You just can't overtalk me. I will, and you can't. And here's another thing. I'm gonna get to you next, Duncan. Another tactic in rhetoric. You cannot allow people to tell lies and keep talking. Because when someone throws out a lie and keeps talking, that lie becomes the truth. When you throw out a lie saying Miles Davis needed Chick Corea and all these other people, and we deal with the last point, what people are going to remember is Miles Davis needed. No. No one, you cannot allow people to lie through a statement. You have to address each point within a statement. And anyone who's telling you the truth will not mind addressing each point in the statement. You're only going to get offended when you try to throw in some bullshit and you try to throw in some bullshit. And that's where we're gonna stop. You cannot allow people to stack bullshit on top of bullshit in a discussion. Address each individual point as it comes. So when he tried to say Miles Davis needed, here's evidence. I'm a huge Herbie Hancock and Chick Corea fan. I still watch Herbie Hancock live. I saw Herbie Hancock live a couple months ago. I'll be seeing him live again a week from today. After my documentary, I'm going to go see Herbie here in LA again. And I'll be going to see him again in February at the Walt Disney Concert Hall. And when Chick Corea was in town, the once or twice a year he came to LA, I saw him. Whether it be at UCLA, the Hollywood Bowl, Catalina Bar and Grill, I saw both of them. They both played piano and I'm going to get you next, Duncan, on Bitches Brew. Here's the thing. Chick Corea recorded over 100 albums. Chick Corea stayed within the genre of futuristic jazz, and I loved him for it. I love them for it. After Bitches Brew, Chick Corea got with the band. They created a band called Return to Forever. In Return to Forever, Chick Corea on piano, Stanley Clarke on bass. They basically followed the mold of Bitches Brew. And whatever band Chick Corea played with, his bands, he had different iterations. He had his electric band, he had his acoustic band, he had the all these different bands that he configurations of bands that he played with. No matter the configuration of the band, it's still stuck to futuristic, fusion, fast-paced style jazz. Herbie Hancock, on the other hand, album to album will come out with completely different genres. When you get to the 70s, not only is Herbie Hancock doing futuristic jazz, Watermelon Man, and that kind of out there spacey stuff like Chick Corea that's very choppy, he's also doing deep funk with the Headhunters. God Made Me Funky, one of my favorite songs from them. He was also doing more of a new style, he brought in the talk box to jazz. Before Roger Troutman brought it in to R&B, Herbie Hancock was on the talk box in jazz. He brought in good R&B. Songs like Trust Me, Stars. Go look up the song Stars in Your Eyes by Herbie Hancock. That's genuine R&B, genuine funk. And then he ushered in and brought legitimacy to old people to hip-hop. Hip-hop was only a thing for young folks. But when Herbie Hancock dropped Rocket, a lot of the people who are young, them young dumb motherfuckers don't appreciate it. They be thinking, oh, Herbie Hancock saw something. No, what he did really was the people who never would have took rap serious, maybe that when Herbie Hancock validated it, it allowed people on the other side to give it space and to shut the fuck up and allow it to grow without being as miserly towards it. So why am I comparing Herbie Hancock to Chick Corea? Herbie Hancock both played with Miles Davis. Herbie Hancock continued to evolve and play throughout broad spectrums of genres. Chick Corea spent the rest of his career basically playing the genre that Miles Davis taught him. That's how you address a lie like that. But he wasn't going to allow me to talk long enough to fully address that lie because he had to tell me that lie to set up the rest of his bullshit. Me torpedoing that man's lie made it to where he had nothing else to say, so the only thing he can do is overtalk. That's how you slice and dice these motherfuckers. Go ahead, Duncan.
Yes, I was gonna say congratulations on your film, Bigger Than Hip Hop, and I had a well, I had a question I end with, but I would say a few questions. I would ask now do you notice that when it comes to like blues music, jazz music, they don't try to stigmatize it by geographical locations. You know, there's respect to Chicago blues music. Um, New York jazz musicians was big. My grandfather, he passed in New York. He died at a young age in his 20s. He was a jazz musician in Brooklyn. But and he traveled around Harlem playing jazz music too. He was not famous, but he was, that he had gigs. He had paying gigs, But my thing is, I noticed when it comes to hip hop, they try to stigmatize it as just being East Coast, which we can all acknowledge it started on the East Coast. But I was wondering, do you think that the fact that it's a large black immigration population in New York, they could be pushing that narrative? What's the whole mindset behind that?
I think you just hit the nail on the head. That's also why we having this discussion right now. Should non-black Americans be allowed to speak on hip hop? Because so many immigrants went into New York and they were there around the time the hip hop thing was sparking and taking off. That's what breeded this environment of people talking about regionalizing hip hop. Being from the West Coast, it's not only them, it's also media. That's why I like these Twitter spaces. I thank people like Racer Bo, people like Sage, people that's from New York that was they come straight up like, nah, us Black American New Yorkers weren't really on that shit. That was some MTV shit. See, being here from the West Coast, I can't see the difference, especially back then. Especially back then, nigga, we didn't even know Busta Rhymes. We didn't know Busta. I didn't know Busta Rhymes was Jamaican until like 3 years ago. I definitely didn't know Pete Rock was Jamaican, and I didn't know none of this shit. We didn't know. That's why communicating. That's why the internet is so important, and us having these type Twitter spaces. Like I have my YouTube on YouTube. That's where I do all the goddamn talking. I don't want to hear no fucking body. But I like these Twitter spaces because I do want to hear from people, and getting that communication from cats on the ground over there, it makes make sense because now I can be like, oh yeah, because one thing about me being from LA, I hate when people who aren't from LA speak on LA. I hate when people who live anywhere north of the 10 freeway speak on LA. All these niggas that just deal with Hollywood, live in the Valley, live in Pasadena. All the niggas is weird. I hate when they talk about LA. Because the LA that gets displayed to the world is South Central, where I grew up. Boys in the Hood, Men's Society. That's the part of LA that all the hip hop records, Compton, all the story of LA gets told by us south of the 10. But it's usually niggas that north of the the ones in the media talking. And that be pissing me the fuck off. So I had to give people like Racer Bowl, that's Willie Dynamite that's in here now with his hands up, and I'm gonna get to you. I had to thank him because when he said that, I was able to relate that to my experience here in LA with all these non-LA niggas speaking on my fucking city. And I don't even like them niggas. Why y'all here? Y'all making too much fucking traffic. Y'all don't cook good. Y'all ain't real. Y'all fake as fuck. Cause LA niggas, you gotta be real. You gotta be who the fuck you are. You know what I mean? The niggas you see getting robbed, that's because they wearing all this fucking jewelry around poor people, you dumb nigga. Be with the people. LA's a real ass city like that. If you just real like that, you don't get no fucking robbed. Ain't nobody gonna bang on you. But I get all these Valley niggas, all these Pasadena niggas talking about my city. I hate that shit. But anyway, that's how it is for all of us as Black people. It's usually not us speaking. And so we'll have these fights, we'll have these beefs, and it ain't even us talking to each other. It's white media in the middle, and it's immigrants in the middle. We see the immigrant part right now through the media. All the immigrants they have in media, all the immigrant politicians, Kamala Harris, Barack Obama, that St. Pierre chick, the press secretary. You got all these people that are saying Black and playing Black, but they ain't Black. So bruh made a good point because it's really just with hip hop that you see these regional beats. All Black music is regional. Funk is regional. New York's funk sound different than LA funk. Minnesota funk sound different than Chicago funk. Same thing with jazz. Kansas City blues is way different than Delta blues, which is way different than Chicago blues, which is way different than New Orleans blues. Every form of Black R&B, LA is the home of R&B. But LA we don't have a Black immigrant issue. The only major Black immigrant population is Belizeans. And one thing about the Belizeans here in LA, they blend right in. You may see them run around their Belizean flag, but they identify as Black, and you never see them drawing lines between Blacks and Belizeans here in LA. That's something that we didn't have to deal with. Now, when the Africans started coming in, but Africans, they started to get more numbers now that we have tech. But before the tech boom of the last 10 years, we didn't have that many Africans here either. So this is the home of rhythm and blues. This is the home of a lot. But we didn't have this thing where, no, this is some LA shit. Now we'll identify, okay, yeah, this is West Coast, but it wasn't going at other people like that because we ain't got a large immigrant population. It's the places that have the large immigrant populations that tends to have these regional beefs. And that's why we have this conversation.
And being from the South, I noticed like when I was growing up or whatever like that, I never like even when the media was pushing the whole East Coast West Coast thing, a lot of people I know from the South, they never really chose a side. It was like we respected West Coast hip hop and we respected East Coast hip hop as well. I was a big fan of Redman, who's from Alabama by the way. Method Man, the whole Wu-Tang Clan, EPMD, all of them. I was big on them, just like I was big on NWA. But I didn't want to make that the only point. I had one other question to ask. I remember I've been in one of your spaces one time before, and I remember vaguely. I think you said it was going to be a series you was going to do. And my other question would be, is it a series? And if you could, are you going to try to get that series on Netflix or something like that?
Good question. Yeah, for everyone listening, talking about my documentary. My premiere is dropping next Sunday. Go to DwannB.com. The link is in my profile to register. This is a fundraiser. The documentary is free. I'm going to release a free version on YouTube. The documentary is free. All right. You can wait a little bit, a couple months, you get the free version. This is a fundraiser Q&A that I'm doing. So the money that you're putting towards this fundraiser is financing the season that I'm putting together. I'm putting together a full season on this. And in the season, that's where I have a lot of your top name musicians and artists that are going to be in it, anthropologists, professionals, day-to-day people, who were just around in the 60s and 70s, who have no name, but they were in the party scene at the time. Like my father is going to be in it, telling me about the LA funk scene of the early 70s and the R&B scene and what was going on in the 60s. I'm bringing me, I'm going to have my dad up in this motherfucker. I'm going to have a couple of my homeboys' fathers and parents just so we can get a point of view of the working person and their point of view of Black culture. I got some very top name artists that I can't name because I don't have them signed yet. And I'm going to get you raised above 1 second. And for those of you who are in LA, my live music night starts Wednesday. Me and Tashina Arnold. Tashina singing. I'm on the mic, and I'm also on the drums. I'm gonna play some drums. I'm an MC tonight. She's singing. We got some surprise singers. I'm not going to announce but we got some really, really top name singers that's going to be there. We also got some up and coming singers that's going to be there to showcase your voice. So even if you're in the LA area and you're a singer, you want to showcase your voice, email me and I'll put you in contact with my booker, person I have booking the singers. But you better be able to sing. Auto-tune motherfuckers, nah. And so along with my documentary that I'm doing, I have an in-person, tangible. If you're in LA on a Wednesday night, you can come and see me do this live and in person. I got a band, drums, bass, keys, lead guitar, a horn section, 3 background singers. I ain't playing, all right? This is some live music and a DJ. And we have a conga player, and we're going to have different top name musicians sitting in on different weeks. So you don't know who's going to show up. You know what I mean? So everything that I'm doing on Twitter, all these tweets that you see me putting up saying this is what I'm listening to, and I'm breaking down the science behind it, there's a live, in-person, tangible night for anyone here in LA on Wednesday nights, every other Wednesday, me and Tashina Arnold. Yeah, Duncan, this is going to be a series, and we're going to make it and it's going to be ongoing. It's not going to be one season. It's going to be multiple. Like my Black American Music Family Tree, you got to understand, that's multiple seasons. That tree. I go real deep with this shit. And I'm always in constant study. Like I'm never done learning. I'm learning some new shit about music every fucking day to go on top of what I've been studying for the last 30 plus years. So that's where we at with it. But I appreciate your questions. I gotta get to my nigga Willie Dynamite. Then I'm gonna get back to you, Miss G. I know I done had you wait, Willie, aka Racer Bo. But again, this person I was talking about and him giving me perspective on what was going on in New York. And I gotta say thank you for that, my brother. But go ahead.
Yeah, peace. No sweat, man. It's all for the family. I just appreciate you, Dwann, Miss Giselle. I see everybody in the room. My big brother Black Voltron on the West Coast.
Black
I just really,
Voltron, what's up, brother?
I just want, yeah, that's my big brother, man. Shout out to Black Voltron, bro. I just wanted to just kind of answer brother Duncan's question with a little bit more clarity. And you had just made a slight incorrect statement, brother Dwann, earlier. What people don't understand, and I really want us to get this through our heads. And when hip hop was being cultivated, whether you want to claim it started between 68 or 73, when you look at the demographic of New York City, understand that Black Americans were the majority minority in the city. That even includes outnumbering Puerto Ricans at the time. Okay, Puerto Ricans did not become the dominant demographic, I believe, until 1975 or 76. So after that, so when you do those numbers, basically, hip hop already had basically a 5 to 3 year run while we were the dominating demographic in the city. Also, Another thing is why you see Fat Joe and Busta Rhymes and people all of a sudden coming out with these lies about who created hip hop is because the demographic has changed. Just alone, I'm from the Bronx. I'm from the South Bronx. I'm from the same neighborhood. Fat Joe ran around the same neighborhood that Disco King Mario DJ. I'm from that neighborhood. What it is that they'll tell these lies now because the demographic now has changed. The last time Black Americans had a real strong presence, particularly in the South Bronx, was right before the recession of the 2000s, right before the Obama era. That was the last, right when they built the new Yankee Stadium, was the last time we had a stronghold in the South Bronx. Now I'm just keeping it in the South Bronx. Um, People don't realize that we had about maybe four flights, and I'm talking about black flights out the city. The first one was during the heroin epidemic of the 70s. The second one was during the crack epidemic of the 80s. The third one came during the recession, and the fourth one, what you would see was like kind of now. You have a lot of black people that just can't afford to live in the city no more. Just my neighborhood alone, anybody that's from Georgia or Atlanta in particular, I believe either in Bankhead or Buckhead, they have what they call down there Bronx Den. The majority of the FBAs that were there during the late 60s, 70s, 80s, and early 90s that grew up in the Bronx lived in Georgia, in Atlanta, which would most of our elders and ancestors migrated from anyway. My family comes from Georgia and the Carolinas. So what it is that when people, especially when want to talk about the birth of hip hop, do not let people use today's demographic to make up a lie for yesterday. And that's what's going on. People are saying this is the Puerto Ricans' excuse. This is why they often say, well, New York hip hop is a New York thing. But even if you want to claim it as a New York thing, the dominating demographic during the inception of hip hop was still Black Americans.
I want to make sure. I just want to say, just to make it clear what we were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the demographic part, we know about the change of it. The story of hip hop being segregated from everything else, that's a thing of the last really 20 years. They weren't. I seriously doubt they were saying that in '76. You know what I mean? I seriously doubt they were saying that even in '83.
No, they wasn't even saying that in '95.
Yeah,
These lies been coming out in the mid '90s.
They were saying that in the '90s. That's why I started. I personally.
That's why I said the mid '90s. This is when it started, Dwan.
No, I'm saying no. Me personally, I personally started hearing it the minute I got Yo MTV Raps. Like that was like 90, 91. That's when I personally started hearing. But again, that was media. That's what when I would turn on MTV, I would hear this is a New York thing. And then also when I would me being an LA cat, with my LA rappers that I knew, I remember hearing them talking about they would get both actions when they go to New York. They would get love, and they would also get, man, that's some LA shit. This is you from LA, you can't be a rapper. And this is action that they was getting from New Yorkers in the early '90s. So not all of it is just born out of nowhere. But what I am saying is the exacerbation of it is media driven, is immigrant driven, but it does not come out of an innocent place. I know too many West Coast rappers who've told me stories. I've had conversations with. I don't like to name drop who I talk to. It's just corny. But I've had conversations with some of the biggest legends in West Coast hip hop that have been around since the '80s, and I've heard their conversations on going on tour, getting love in the South, getting love in the Midwest, but hitting New York and the problems. That's just a fact. But with that being said, it wasn't everybody. And while at the same time, we got to deal with what people's experiences. This is the experience of a West Coast artist, of plenty of West Coast artists, more than one, that I've heard stories from the '80s and the '90s on. So that happened. But I do want to say that the demographics has changed, and what we see going on right now is completely media driven. And when you look at most of the people saying all this New York shit, even the people saying it, Cardi B, immigrant, Dougie Fresh, immigrant, didn't know he was an immigrant till recently. But you see Slick Rick ain't on that shit, but he's from England. He's like, no, I like the Black American. I got it from Black American culture. He ain't saying that shit. But it's a lot of them cats, and it's a deep correlation between the immigrant class in New York But then I can't go all the way there because look at who's funding. Like just like we go to the white supremacists who's funding things. I look at everybody who running things. Well, Jay-Z got that goddamn cop lady running his fucking company. He the one that's managing Fat Joe. Jay-Z's company is the one when Fat Joe gets booked somewhere, they're going through, Rock Nation. And when you look at some of the funding, that Rock, I look at them niggas at Rock Nation. I look at Diddy. I'm always looking at Diddy. I'm always looking at them niggas. They be behind a lot of foul shit that go on within our community, within black music, within Black America. Diddy and motherfucking Puffy. I'm not, man, those are the same person. Diddy and Jay-Z. Jay-Z's more quiet about it. He's behind Brooklyn getting gentrified out. That money, did y'all see how much Jay-Z got paid? Go and Google how much Jay-Z got paid on the cash out. When he sold his ownership, which was like 0.001% of a percent, he got paid basically less than $500,000. That nigga sold out a whole motherfucking community for less than the amount of a box seat for one season. Think about that. Center court box seat for a year, the Barclays is gonna run you $500,000-600,000. Jay-Z sold out for like $450,000. Yeah, we gotta talk about that. Because I believe in checking everybody. We gotta check everybody. If black Americans, the FBA, if we had our shit together, guess what? We wouldn't be dealing with this shit. We ain't slow. We ain't stupid. We in this fucking position because our shit's not together. We gotta tell the truth. We don't have our shit together. And oftentimes, it's the ones that we praise and worship. They be the main ones controlling making sure we don't have our shit together. So they can keep their couple dollars. But then niggas go, man, don't say that about them, man. They at least they getting paid. At whose expense, dummy? Yours. So yeah, we gotta call all these niggas out. I'll call them. That's why same way I ain't got no problem calling out LA niggas. You ain't never seen me support the gangster rap shit. Now you'll hear me bring clarity to it, talking about the original intent. For all that 90s, I didn't like. I'm not a big Tupac fan. I like Digital Underground era Tupac. I don't have nothing other than my favorite Tupac song, "To Live and Die in LA" off Machiavelli. That's my shit right there. I love my motherfucking city. The rest of that shit, I don't listen to. I don't like it. I didn't like Doggy Style. One of my least. I'm a huge Snoop fan, but Doggy Style is one of my least favorite albums. My favorite is actually the Blue Carpet Treatment. I like The Last Meal, what he did when he left there from. The Last Meal. I like when the shit that was heavy gangster shit. I'm not into that. Bringing in Jerry Heller, that was some fuck shit. I didn't like. You very rarely, never ever hear me talk that positively about Death Row. I don't speak on Death Row Records, so I ain't got much positive to say, other than at least Suge got his people paid. One thing about Suge, like Suge, people got paid under Suge. I will give them credit for that. But I was here in the 90s. I was in high school, but I would hear stories about my friend's older brother getting stomped out at the Century Club because Suge Knight was having fun and wanted to have a nigga stomped out. I never fuck with them niggas. I don't fuck with none of all these Art of Dialogue and Vlad TV interviews, and you got all these niggas talking about gangster rap. If you follow me on Facebook or on Twitter, really on Facebook, you hear me talking all the time about I can't stand all these fake ass, gangster ass niggas that was around terrorizing my city in the 80s and the 90s. And all they do now is go on Vlad TV and Art of Dialogue and talk about, man, back in the 90s, man, back in my hood, back in the days, man. These niggas glorifying that shit. Nigga, I saw 3 people getting murdered in front of me by the time I was 9 growing up in South Central LA. I carry serious PTSD from all them shootings. My house been involved in drive-bys because my neighbor was a Crip and I lived in a blood neighborhood. You know what I mean? That shit gave me for real PTSD. That took me a long time to get over. I don't fuck with them West Coast niggas on that gangster shit. Fuck all of them. One by one, they mamas too. Because they raised the ain't shit ass nigga. That's how I feel about West Coast gangsterism. Fuck all them niggas. I don't like them. I don't like them. My city's not perfect. It's not pure. So when the East Coast niggas and the Southern niggas got something to say about how the West Coast infected them, the only thing I can say is I'm sorry. Because I ain't like that shit either. Can't stand it. We got to get to the point to where we tell the truth about our faults too. We all played a part in this shit getting fucked up. Men, women, and children. The elders, the youth, the middle-aged niggas, and the 20-year-olds. All of us play our part. All of us got to be real about where we are. We got to be real about where to go with it, man, because when we dealing with these Jay-Z types, these Diddy types, these they put Suge Knight's ass in jail, so we ain't got to deal with his ass no more. Or in the South, the Jay Prince types, these niggas was gangster. Now all they do is go on TV and talk. We got a lot of work to do internally, along with these fucking coons, along with the white supremacists. We need a wholesale cleaning of this bitch. And people who don't have good intentions by the greater good of Black society, then they can't get my love. They can't get my attention, and I can get my praise, and I can get my reverence. And I don't give a fuck if they from LA, New York, Switzerland, England, Jamaica, South Africa. I don't give a fuck. That's where we at with it. But I'm gonna let Miss G say the calls. Say what you gotta say, then I'm gonna let you finish your point. Actually, finish your point, Rachel. Both. I'm gonna get to Miss G before I get to the next person.
Yeah, cool. And then I appreciate you, Dwanna. You kind of hit that right on the head, bro. You's 100% right, particularly about a Jay-Z's conniving ass. Okay. But one thing I just want to I actually got some homework for you. What I would really appreciate if you could do, Dwan, the next time you speak to whoever you spoke to, whatever West Coast artists, please really try to get in detail about who the promoters they were talking to, about what venues did they perform at, and where exactly in the city, if they can remember where they were performing. The reason why I asked this is because we've known that the industry has been saturated with a whole bunch of immigrant people that are in key positions to basically hold, are gatekeeping the wealth to hip hop when it comes to a lot of artists. So when you have certain artists that come from the West Coast, this was what I was trying to explain to you, man. Maybe I wasn't clear about it. You have deliberate vitriol towards these people, which is why you saw Special Ed went up there on Drink Champs and said the shit he said. That has never been the sentiment of the Black American community in New York. And I always want us to refer just to our history and alone in hip hop. And this is shit I done seen personally. MC8 used to come out to New York and kick it with Wu-Tang all the time. Mac 10 used to come over there in the Bronx looking for Fat Joe. We had West Coast artists come over here all the time and really venture through the city. And it seems like a lot of times that when they talk about that, New York niggas wasn't messing with us, New York niggas wasn't doing that, it always comes from a industry viewpoint. But it never.
I don't want to spend much more time in New York because I want to get to other people.
No, I'm gonna land it. I was just about to land it.
Go ahead.
So, like I said, I want you to do that homework. Also, I will refer you to just looking at the Tunnel nightclub in New York City. Everybody knows about the Tunnel. About the Tunnel. I want to get on
to the next person, brother, because I want to answer your question quick because I don't have too much time.
I get it. Now, so now I'll land, brother.
Yeah.
But just check the history out. That's all.
And this is with nothing but respect. I'm not going to do that homework, and here's why. Because at the end of the day, that's people's experiences, and it's just happened. And I started by saying both experiences happened. They got just as much love too. Like I didn't say cats didn't get love; they got love. but they still have to deal with that stigma as they went through the 80s and the 90s. It's just a fact. The reason why here in LA, if somebody gets hit up by one of these gangs, I'm not gonna ask them which gang, because some of these like BPS, they make niggas legions. You know what I mean? Different gangs, it's different. It's not, it's or I'm not gonna ask, was it South Coast, was it East Coast, was it this, was it 60? You know why? Because whether it was the East Coast Crips, BPS, Fruit Towns, or whoever it was, it still happened in my city because of a culture that my city fostered and accepted. And so whether it happened from this set or that set, it still happened. Well, we got to get as a citizen of LA, as a lifelong LA resident, as someone who's been here since 1931, my family, it's on me and people like me to eradicate the culture of it, whether it come from this hood or that hood. It's on us to continually speak out and not be silent like we was in the 90s and the 2000s. See, being in the 80s, you didn't really talk on gang shit in the 80s. You just kind of left that shit alone. But in the 90s, it became fashionable, and that was all still industry. It became vogue. It became fashionable. It became the thing to do in the 90s and the 2000s. And people like me who weren't part of that lifestyle wasn't saying shit. Part of it, we were scared of getting shot. But now, no. At some point, you gotta clean up your shit. And it's not for other people to understand. You gotta clean. I can't go around telling other people to understand. No. LA needs to clean up his shit. Black people shouldn't mistreat other black people based off of a neighborhood, based off of where they come from. We shouldn't do that to one another, period. So no matter which set is doing it to, if someone comes from the East Coast and some hood shit happened, and because they was some part of LA culture, we gotta clean that shit up. The same way New Yorkers gotta come in and clean up that shit. Like, look, yeah, that happened, but like, no. New Yorkers gotta be like what Lord Jamar is doing. New Yorkers gotta be the first ones to say, no, this is black culture. They gotta be the loudest on the mic saying that. And until New Yorkers are the loudest on the mic saying that, the rest of us gotta say something. The same reason why until LA niggas are the loudest ones to say, hey, the gangster shit is whack. Stop. Until we the loudest ones saying that and our music is promoting that, then we gotta take whatever heat gonna come our way. Period. We still got these Crip Mac dudes and these dudes that Keefy D's and shit still running around talking about stuff that happened in the 90s. And niggas is just being silent. You got Whack 100 going around, nigga famous over that bullshit and treachery. And these LA niggas are silent. Matter of fact, they'll go on this show and support it. As long as my city supports Whack 100 and shit like that, DwannBrown gotta take that shit on the chin. That's just what it is. No one else is gonna understand it. And they're not, people live their own life. They're not supposed to understand it. We gotta be more vocal about cleaning up our cities. And not just what happened, also rhetorically with what we support, with what we promote. All that promoting, all that gangster shit. When the fuck are we LA niggas on? And here's the crazy part about it. I'm getting to you, Mrs. L. Here's the crazy part about it. Banging over colors, that shit kind of stopped. Like Nipsey was the last generation, like when he came up, he's a little bit younger than me. Like early 2000s was when really niggas stopped tripping over colors. 01, 02, 3. After that, it really just became neighborhood, like Crip on Crip. The 40s and the 60s don't get along. They both Crip sets, only about a mile apart. The Mer Park is where the 40s are. The 60s is up on Slauson. It's about a mile split between the two hoods. Both Crip hoods been fighting all goddamn for the last 3 goddamn decades, and most of the fights is over abroad. My cousin D-Ray was with Fruit Town and got killed by his own homie from his own hood after a dice game. He was in that movie. He was in one of those movies on LA Gangster Life. Like LA stuff, it ain't like I was in the 90s. But then I looked around. I was at Fort Worth. I'm like, damn, niggas in Fort Worth is really on that color shit hard. Niggas in the South in different parts of the country. I looked around. I was like, yo, because here being from LA, I wear red all the time. I got videos on Facebook of me wearing bright red Jordans in Watts. going down motherfucking 103rd Street, in front of Jordan High School. Straight up Crip neighborhood. East Coast hood on San Pedro and 69th. I wear red all the fucking time. I had to, nigga. It's been 2 decades since I thought about what color I'm wearing when I walk outside living in LA. But when I go across the country, I see people still be on that shit. And I did not know niggas was still on that. We've been off that shit. But problem is, too many of these corny ass LA niggas see that whole 90s gangster era as a badge of honor. So you see them get on these little podcasts and all these interview shows and TV shows. Yeah, man, I come from the hood. And when I was in the hood, man, nigga, you lived in motherfucking the valley, nigga. You live in no fucking hood. Nigga, Whack 100 lives in fucking Pomona. And Pomona had its hoods, but no. Them niggas
on Pyru.
The reason why they live in Pomona is because they had to motherfucking leave Compton with a real hood. And you had these different areas that had these different Pasadena. Don't get me wrong, they had their gangs. They do. But all these peripheral LA niggas, when LA niggas are starting to calm down on that shit, these niggas is watching Boys in the Hood and all these movies and perpetuating the stereotype. And so now all of us who still live here south of the 10 got to turn on YouTube all day and watch these corny ass niggas perpetuate the stereotype. We got to change that shit from within. And personally, that's why I'm so vocal and loud about it. I'm DwannBrown. Yes, I'm calling all that shit corny. All that, I'm a gangster. I'm gonna go on Vlad and talk about 90. Nigga, you corny. Period. And that's what it got to be. Miss G, I'm gonna get to the next person, but Miss G, you the lady in the room. You gotta say something.
Yep, no, I actually agree. I feel the same way what happened in Baltimore. Everybody was like, yeah, The Wire. Yeah, it was like that. It was a lot of things. I remember a girl named Tiffany executed, sitting on a damn just playing outside down Poplar Grove in Baltimore. And like it was so sad. So many children lost their lives because of the dumbness. Baltimore City Public Schools forced to wear school uniforms. You couldn't even wear a certain type of shoes to school at a certain point because you were getting shot up for your shoes. You were getting robbed for stuff. It was crazy. And you had to be a gang if you lived in certain areas. Real talk. And because of that, that mentality, it's spread like wildfire. And now you're looking at the gangsters, like everybody's doing these shows on BET talking about all of the terrorism that they did in the community, and they're like, it's almost like they're trying to glorify that lifestyle. And that's the part that bothers me the most, because this is what our youth are watching, and now they're trying to reactivate that mentality somehow within our youth, the next generation, because it kind of, with our generation, the one we kind of like swept that off. We was like, you know what, we ain't rocking like that. We changed a lot of it, and now they're trying to insert it into the minds of our youth. So what you're saying is absolutely right. It's our job to call those shows corny. All the women, the gangsters, or whatever you want to call on BET. I saw the one for the lady here. I was like, why is this on television? Or even with the men. It's so bad. And but these people, they coming on there and they talking about, oh yeah, I was selling crack. Oh my gosh, we was making 500 bands, like bragging on it. And this is what we have to stop. It's not anything cool about it. You should be embarrassed that you terrorized your community. And on that note, I know I want to get to these hands.
Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna get to the next person, but that is exactly it. That is the exact problem. They're acting as if that lifestyle, that era, is a badge of honor, and it wasn't. For most of us, I remember seeing people who had good jobs get destroyed by crack. I remember growing up, one of my dad. I remember every time my dad would stop at the liquor store. My dad has red hair, so my dad was always cool. So every time we stop at a liquor store to get some cigarettes and some zigzags and some beer, it'd be some toothless person out front. Hey, what's up, Red? And me and my sister would always be in the back of the car laughing at me. We were like, man. My sister would be like, God damn, why are daddy's friends busted? And then so she asked my dad that. She's like, Daddy, why all your friends be missing teeth? But I remember my dad, he would be like, a couple times, he'd point out, he'd be like, oh yeah, that's such and such. he used to drive a Cadillac. He used to have a house on 67th and Budlong. What happened? Y'all on that shit. Next day, he dropped somewhere. Who was that, Daddy? Oh, that's such and such. Yeah, man, they used to have a house on Van Ness and Gage, man. But what happened? It's just like, man, I just remember seeing it. Then I didn't really understand what it was until I got older. I was like, yo, that's what that was. My dad's friends were basically calling that shit. And I saw the destruction happening right in front of me, but I'm 8 years old, so I don't know what the fuck is going on. I see a whole bunch of toothless motherfuckers walking around here with a brown paper bag over a beer. We was talking about this other day, and I'm gonna get you next person. We used to when we was kids, we used to I used to get a Hawaiian punch and put a brown paper bag around it, just so that's what I saw the men in the neighborhood doing. Like when I was a kid, they all had brown. I didn't know it was because they was hiding liquor. I didn't know it was illegal. I didn't know. I'm 6. I'm 7. So we used to put brown paper bags around our Pepsi, around our Coke, just because that's what we saw. And then we would see the SWAT team throwing flashbangs in Miss Jackson's house across the street. The battering ram coming. We was in a fucking war zone 3-4 nights a week. The helicopter being low over the house, and I mean swerving over your house for an hour. I mean, this was 3 to 4 nights a week. Now you gotta go to school tomorrow. That shit wasn't fun. I had PTSD. I had a therapist that helped me get rid of a lot of my PTSD just in the last 10 years, like 10 years ago. Because I remember sitting in English class, in math class, when I was a kid, 3rd grade, getting ready to take a math test. And all I heard was, fuck you, nigga. Crack, 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 crack. Because behind my 3rd grade class was there was a liquor store and a shopping center on the other side of the wall. And then taking my math test, wondering if that man lived or not. That shit was not fun. And all these niggas going around glorifying it, I don't fuck with you. Now, I'm not saying I don't fuck with gangsters, because a lot of the gangsters I know, I love gangsters. But the gangsters I know, them niggas is doing other shit. These niggas is football coaches. The realest gangsters I know, these niggas is now football coaches. These niggas work for the city. These niggas are raising their children. They left that lifestyle behind. And that's the majority of these dudes. That's the majority are the ones who are out. The majority of the ones who made it through that are out there being better, more productive members of Black America. But the ones that are out there running their mouth on the internet, we got to end that shit. Next is the Negro Black Knight.
Hey, what's up, Brother Dwan? I like the conversation that you got coming on here. One thing that I like to do is I like to read the title and address the question. Should non-Black Americans be allowed to speak on hip-hop? That's a hell no. I grew up in the era where the B-Rads of the world, if they were rapping, they got thrown in the dumpster. We used to slap the mic out their hand, all right? That's the era that I grew up in the 90s and the early 80s. And seeing white boys like Eminem getting more clout than our Black people doesn't sit well with me personally. So that's one aspect that I wanted to touch upon. And the other thing I want to touch upon, because I live out in Connecticut, so I'll be spying on New York with my binoculars, with them little rich little Negroes be doing that's out in Connecticut. So one thing I hated about New York personally is that these people felt like, who are not from the lineal community, felt the need to say the N-word. And that shit used to drive me insane. Lord, I couldn't go up and down New York like that because I would get in an altercation with somebody. I'm just going to keep it 1,000. I'm not talking about somebody bumping you on the subway. I'm talking about them saying the N-word more than the person that's of the stock and of the lineage. So that's just my reasons why I don't personally F with New York, because I know that I will personally be fighting with people every single step of the way with that word. And I feel like New Yorkers alone ushered that behavior, that degenerate behavior, where it made it be cool where other people could say that word. And that was kind of my thing with like with just New York people that I get annoyed with personally, because that word That word is a word of disrespect. Yeah, it's a word of endearment amongst ourselves, but when it takes out to other communities, I really feel some type of way. I really feel some type of way with guys like Fat Joe who was selling drugs to our people, right? Making rap songs and stuff like that. So like I'm not a really big fan of people who are not from the lineage running their mouth. I'm just not cool with it. They used to be, like I said, they used to be thrown in the dumpster. They used to get beat up. They used to get the mic smacked out of their hand, and they used to call them Elvis. All right? That's what I grew up on. So all this other weirdo stuff where other people calling the N-word and all this other stuff where they making fun of our icons, it doesn't sit well with me. So I just wanted to bring that out, and it should be like a zero tolerance ban. If you ain't from the community, then you don't need to be having a microphone. Go do some pop or something. Go do some rock. No, don't even do rock and roll because we invented that. Go do some pop or go do some disco or some weirdo stuff, if you get what I mean.
I feel you. We invented those too. But they have their own versions of that shit that they can do. I feel you, because there's versions of that music that niggas just ain't gonna listen to. So y'all go ahead and do the versions we created that we don't listen to. Go do one of them. Go, y'all want to be white. Plus, don't these motherfuckers identify as white? Why don't they go do music that white people like? Shit, leave us the fuck alone. Y'all come in and put white on y'all driver's license. You know, y'all try to blonde your hair. You try to act white. But you want to go around and listen to our music. Then go listen to some fucking go listen to some motherfucking Blondie. Listen to that bitch. Listen to some Taylor Swift. Go listen to her. Fuck you bothering us for, nigga. Go. They got all that country music they can listen to. They can listen to Garth Brooks. You know what I mean? They can choose listen to Dolly Parton, Keith Urban. Nah, but they want to come listening to us, but while calling themselves white. That shit right there is ridiculous. But that's kind of America in a nutshell. You know, that's how it's always been. So you got your hand back up. You go and finish off what you want to say, then I'm gonna kick it back to my co-host.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you for allowing me to speak on this. Cause like being right from Connecticut, speaking of Diddy, y'all guys dropped Diddy. One of my mans, one of my right hand mans from back in the day used to work for him, and the thing that used to tee me off about Diddy is he had a lot of workers and a lot of them brothers and sisters that was on the street team that made him a lot of money, and he don't look out for them. Personally, I know people personally on my phone number that where Diddy has not looked out for black people who I could run through Black Rob, I could run through the street team, I could run through various different Black Craig Mack. All right, I could run through a whole list about the whole Bad Boy, and I got a Bad Boy jacket and shirt up there. So if you want, but so you know, I'm gonna drop some facts about it. And that was one of the things that teed me off about Diddy, because he made over hands over foot over Biggie stuff, but he did not do anything to look out for the interests of black people at the Bad Boy. And on worse things worse, he did not get he did not make a studio right in Manhattan like he was supposed to do. All right, that's how far I go back with this nonsense on the East Coast. So yeah, Diddy is a problem and always will be a problem. And technically, since we're talking about reparation, he owes us reparations for being a damn sellout. So I just wanted to end it off with that and end off strong, like with some coffee.
Yes, sir. He do. I feel you on that, but I'm gonna talk. When I say I like absolutely zero of the gangsterism that Suge Knight brought in. But one thing I can say is, I know a lot of people that man broke off. Suge Knight took care of people who took care of him. I will say that. That's one thing I can't give him credit for. If you did something for Suge Knight, you got paid. If Suge Knight was doing real good, you got paid more. You know, he was known for low key pass, and I ain't talking about just the rappers. I'm talking about other people who had other factions of his company that helped make him successful. He was known for really taking care of people, them not paying rent and stuff like that. So I got to give Suge Knight, and also I have I know Suge Knight in prison right now is actually helping one of my family members with a case that his particular lawyer flipped on. They both kind of had the same lawyer, and that lawyer that Suge Knight had was actually state's evidence. I can't get into all that, but there was some other shit going on with Suge Knight, and he's actually in prison right now, helping a family member of mine with some information. So I gotta give him credit for that. But at the same time, all that gangster shit, how can you you can't pay enough to write that pushing of it the way it got gangster shit got commercialized in the 90s. I was never a fan of the Exhibit. I was never a fan of the game. I can't don't get me wrong, the Game's album Jesus Piece, that's my shit. I love his Jesus Piece album. I ain't a big fan of the Game. All that I'm just, I run across him every now and again, and I don't want no problems with him. I ain't got no issue with him personally, but bro don't impress me. It just doesn't. All that every time you come around is. I saw a story the other day with Chris Brown saying he leaving LA. I was like, good, leave, go back home. You're tired of these niggas. They come to LA, and then they want to go and link up with one of the hoods or whatever, and for protection because you at the wrong spots. If you got to pay for protection, that mean you ain't the right goddamn spots. Kobe didn't have to pay for no fucking protection. I tell you that goddamn much. So when it comes to it, you got these people that are getting involved and immersed in that lifestyle. And it's a lifestyle it's not a lifestyle, it's a death style. And it's a death style that we adapted. And yes, the white supremacists perpetuated it, but they're not going to stop it. Somebody has to be the adult in the room. That means we got to stop it from within. Miss G, before I go to text, you got something to say?
I'm just saying, you guys are really laying it down. I appreciate you for calling it out. I know that our sister, FBA Empress, is actually playing because when you were talking, it reminded me of Do the Right Thing, the movie. They're gonna be doing that tomorrow during her movie space, but this is the effects of all of these people coming in and kind of impersonating us. Um, and just trying to, do things in our community. They terrorize us 24/7. But that's it. Just made me think about that movie, and she just so happened to post it, so I wanted to shout that out. But yeah, you could go right to text. Thank you, Dwayne.
Go ahead, text.
Thank you, Miss G. You're so gracious. I think structurally, there's some work that needs to be done. We dealing with these non-black Americans, but we got to deal with the other non-black Americans, the people who control the entire industry. I think we need to somehow, we know how to make things pop. We made cool. We made hip hop. We made everything buzz, right? We know how to create a buzz, and we set the standards and we set the styles. So now what we have to bring in is a new style, a style where we don't support any label that isn't Black American owned, that isn't owned and controlled by Black Americans. So we need to essentially just cut that off. We don't need to be in a situation where, this is nothing new. Ever since there was a man named Fiddler who could play the fiddle, and his master took him around and he traveled. He was very valuable because he had a special talent.
I hear you. I hear you. We do have to do something, but I don't necessarily think it's a good idea. And I hear what you're saying. I respect what you're saying. I ain't trying to just totally dismiss what you said, but drawing the line at the record label will be tough because we have a lot of black-owned record labels that ain't shit. Cash Money ain't shit. No Limit. No Limit did. I like what No Limit did as far as business wise, but they weren't giving us any music of substance. Bad Boy really wasn't shit. And so I'm saying that to say, a black snake can bite you just as fast as a white snake, not sooner. We got to pay attention to the quality. We got to be intelligent enough to pay attention to the quality of what's coming out. Of the individual artists. Don't interrupt me, please. Don't interrupt me. We got to pay attention to the quality of what's coming out, and also we got to know that in the days of today's independent releases, most artists aren't on the label. Especially quality artists, even black labels, they just independently releasing. So I get what you're saying, and there is a point to that, but I just don't want to go too much further because if we keep that label, we'll miss the target. Because at least when you're dealing with black labels, that doesn't necessarily make it better. We just talked about Bad Boy. We talked about some of the deals that the Rock Nation deals that you heard. Who was that? Kendrick Lamar? No, Kendrick. It was another rapper. He's talking about the 5,000 Rock Nation tried to offer them, and you see Rock Nation's pushing Fat Joe. That's black owned. So yeah, we got to just be intelligent about the substance of what the artist is talking about, and if it's because No Name, she's on a white independent label, but No Name is dropping facts on her album that just dropped, her hip hop album that just dropped. She's on a white indie label. Hidden Beach was a white owned indie label out of Philly that gave us Jill Scott. So we got to pay closer attention to it and focus on the substance of what's coming out of the artist. And depending on where the artist is coming up, depending on where the artist is coming from, we can support those particular works. But you can go ahead and finish your point.
I appreciate what you said, and you're absolutely right. Well, first of all, we still need to boycott all the labels that are not black owned, because what we're going to do if we do this, those big artists are going to come to the black owned labels. And so I don't care if you're on a white owned label and you're doing great music, you need to come over and sell that with the family. And another thing is, a lot of the things you mentioned on labels are actually distribution deals. Like which one of these Rock Nations and all these companies are actually distributed by a black distributor. So in other words, if we got to go to a totally independent model where we sell directly to the customer, that's what we need to do. There's no.
I hear you. There are no black distributors. The government made sure of that.
What's that?
I said black. There's a full on government. Columbia University, Columbia Records, Harvard University got together back in the mid '70s to kill off black distribution. So yeah, that we don't own any means of distribution.
Well, I mean,
so
why don't we even need distribution companies when we can sell directly?
You can't. You still need a stream, something that's going to stream the tech to get from one. All business requires three transactions: the creator, the middleman, the end user. So
like you making excuses, bro. I'm sorry.
No, that's not excuses. Not excuses.
You being a contract.
We gotta say, yeah, you're out of here. We gotta be smart enough at Black Americans. We gotta be smart. All right. When we talk about what's going on in the country, the facts. A fact isn't an excuse. You got to deal with the world that we have, not the world we want. See, a lot of these niggas want to go around and deal in this fictitious world, this Negro babble. See, what we need to do, how do you know what you need to do if you don't understand what the fuck environment you're doing it in? I'm flying an airplane. There are different flight rules above 70,000 feet as there are below 70,000 feet. If I'm above 75,000 feet, I need a different flight deck, different flight rules. Got to know where I am. I got to know what it's like. I got to know what I'm bringing if I'm going to the forest versus if I'm going to the desert. If I'm going to the forest, there's a good chance I'll come across water because there's streams everywhere. So maybe I need to pack something that's going to keep me warm and get me to that water versus if I'm in the desert, I may need to bring a lot of water and nothing is warm. I have to know my environment before I deal with my environment. So when you discuss the environment and somebody say that's an excuse, that's like saying, oh, I'm going to the ocean. We're going to the ocean. And what we need to do when we go to the ocean, we need to bring some seeds and some soil, some seeds and some to plant some plants in the sand. But bro, we're going to the ocean. There's no, you can't plant seeds in the sand. Nothing's going to grow in the sand. No, man, it sounds like you're making an excuse. If we just put these seeds in the sand, it's going to grow. Hey, brother, if you're going to grow something, we need to bring soil. We need, the sea has salt water. We need to bring fresh water. We need to bring soil. We need to bring seed. We need to bring fertilizer. We need to bring these things to create an environment for these seeds to grow. But you got some jackass saying, that's an excuse. All right, dumb nigga, go drop your seeds in the sand and see what the fuck happens. Not don't let idiots talk for long. Not in my spaces. Once I find out you're a fucking dumbass, next person. If we're speaking from an intelligent point of view, and we may disagree, but you're still speaking from a point of view that has some intelligence in it, we could talk all goddamn day. But when we're talking about distribution, all transactions require a creator, distributor, and an end user. When I create my music, how is that music going to get to listeners? Songs in the Key of Life to me is the greatest album of all time. But I never would have heard Songs in the Key of Life had it never been distributed. So you either have to go through Spotify, Apple, or if you have the money like Kanye, you can, like Kanye, look what he did. He created an app to where he did create his own means of distribution. But that dumb nigga would probably be somebody that's like, man, Kanye voted for Trump, so that's the next layer you go to. You get a black man that do something like that, and the only thing this idiot can think about, well, he voted for Trump, so I ain't fucking with him. We can be some dumb motherfuckers sometimes, I swear. Not all of us, but too many of us. And so that's what we're dealing with. Yeah, someone with Kanye's money, he did it. But very few people are going to have Kanye's money. And Kanye didn't have Kanye's money. Kanye had to distribute through white labels to get the money to create his own distribution, right? You got to deal with the environment you have, not the environment you want. And then you got this idiot talking about, I just told him labels don't matter that much anymore. People are doing music in their fucking basement and putting it right on Spotify. This nigga talking like we in 1993. I mean, fucking need a label no more. Black people. This is what I gotta say to that. I'm gonna get back to some speak machine. And if you got something to say racist, let me know. Put your hand up. But anybody else, I see Mikado, and anybody else got something to say, please, please, please put your hand up. And we'll talk about it. I'm gonna be on here for like another probably 20 minutes. So I said that to say, as people, we got to deal with the environments that we have, not the ones we want. And when we go from that point of view, we can then create solutions, because we got to deal with what we have in order to get to where we want to get to. And if you try to bring seeds to the beach without bringing soil and fertilizer and fresh water, no matter how dope them seeds are, they're never going to grow. Environment matters. That's why trees lean. Why do trees lean? They're leaning towards the fucking sun. There's something in their way. So the tree gonna lean a little bit because the sun blocking the sun. That's what environment does. When they created that biodome in Tempe, Arizona, they couldn't grow trees. They're trying to figure out, okay, we can grow plants, we can grow this, we have fresh water, we have gray soil, we have these tree seeds, and none of these trees are growing in the biodome in Arizona, Tucson. What's going on? And they figured out something. They said, you know what? In order for trees to grow, you need wind. No matter how environmentally hospitable the place is, if you don't have wind, you can't get trees. What if we had one of these dumb niggas going around saying, that's an excuse? All these, that's an excuse niggas, we got to get them the fuck out the paint. They slow the conversation down. Miss G, it's on you. Say what you got to say, and then we're going to kick it to next.
Nah, you flowing. I'm like sitting here just absorbing it up, but you on the money. You could go right back to the hands, the Negro, and then the company.
Got you. Go right ahead.
Hey, yeah, I wanted to talk about that distribution thing. The brother's not aware that Napster and the other things, other entities like that in the early 90s and the 2000s screwed all that up. When they streamlined music onto online, that's what killed the music industry. Where the game is saturated with a bunch of bozos. See, they used to have what they call artist development. They used to have a lot of different things to get the artists to where they're up to where they're presentable. Because like back in the day, you got to think about the marketing that went along with the artists' development. They used to have A&Rs. They don't have that anymore, family, because they can't afford it. Like when I said that I'm a right an earshot away from New York, brother, I'm an earshot away from New York. So we hear a lot of things in Connecticut. They don't call us the insurance capital of the world for nothing, because we hear everything. We just don't comment as much. But the streaming is what killed it. And also, what's his name? Jay-Z, because I was pissed off when he sold that damn app. That was a streamlining service. He screwed that up too. All right, gave it to some white folks. So yeah, we got some off-code people up in the music industry when they do things like that. He should have gave it to the Amigos. He should have gave it to some foundational Black American artists or something with their head on straight and kept that in-house. Shame on that brother for giving that distribution chain. I can't think of the name of the app, but I was so pissed off I deleted it off my phone and forgot about it, family. That's how teed off I was. It was a good ass app.
Are you
Yeah, man.
Tidal?
Go ahead, Miss G.
Tidal. It was Tidal.
What? Hold on, wait a minute. I've had Tidal since it launched. So you saying he doesn't own it anymore? Is that what you're saying?
No, ma'am. He sold that shit to some Scandinavians or some crackers from across the sea.
He sold it about 2 years ago.
Nah, I'm gonna say five, brother. Five.
Yeah.
Now it was a minute, and he had nothing but white folks in the background. We had all Black engineers in the United States, and he let a bunch of white people design his shit. So just something for y'all to think about.
That was the issue. I never got on the Tidal because you were trying to play the Black. I am done. As a Black man, I'm tired of getting played for being Black. Support me because I'm Black. They keep getting us with that, man. And I understand Tidal definitely pays the artist more, and I like that. And if I were going to get Tidal, it would be purely because of that, purely because it pays the artist more. But Jay-Z, when I saw that picture, I think that was the picture he had from Tidal, like in 2012, 2013, whenever it got launched. I saw nothing but others up in that motherfucker. And then you see what he did. In order to get Tidal, that's how he got that Live Nation deal, that Live Nation touring deal that he had, that 10-year deal he signed with Live Nation. That 10-year Live Nation, remember they signed a 10-year, I think 2008, a 10-year, $200 million partnership with Live Nation, where he was touring every year. Well, Live Nation are the ones that put the money up for him to buy Tidal. So if Live Nation is the one that put the money up, the owner's the money. I just follow the money. I don't get into the rest of that shit. The owner is the money. So when I saw that he leveraged his Live Nation touring deal to purchase Tidal, that showed me that Live Nation owns Tidal. And Jay-Z's the front man. And he went on tour. He went on all those. He toured basically every year for 10 years. And then he re-signed another deal back in 2018. And I actually went to the concert when he went on the 444 tour. I actually went to that opening night show. But he basically was touring to pay off his loan for Tidal. And of course, he got some money on top of that, but he since sold it. But it's a whole thing going on. They play a whole shell game behind our back. The whole A&R thing is true. With it's like, that's why I was like, you know what? You just got to find an artist you like, and if they putting out some good music, fuck with it. You know what I mean? Because the game is way too saturated, way too complicated to put a. The white supremacists are smarter than that. They don't give central targets anymore. They used to give us central targets. We figured that shit out in the 60s. They learned how to decentralize themselves a lot better in the 60s. So we're not going to have that narrow focus thing we can boycott, because there's two things that they done learned from the 60s. One, let's integrate Black America. So Black American businesses went out in major fashion from the 60s through now. So one, we don't have our own places to go to. And two, what they've done was they've saturated it to where even the white owned stuff is the black owned stuff can have is white back, or you have white owned stuff with a black face. And they understand like mayors in cities. They want to fuck up a city, put a black mayor in. LA, Chicago, uh, New York want to fuck up a city, put a black mayor in. They gonna face
Detroit.
Detroit. We got to be we got to be at the point to where we got to now. If you're in your 20s, you young, you don't know better. But if you're in your late 30s and your 40s, you done seen this game happen enough. In your 50s, 40s, especially in your 40s, we done seen this happen long enough. You know what I mean? In each one of our cities, and we got the internet to where we can now communicate with each other. So yeah, we got to get a little bit sharper than that. But I want to get to the company, the Real Yay. It's on you, brother.
Okay. That was a lot. I just wanted to answer the title of the room. Should non-black Americans be allowed to speak on hip hop? Of course not. I even heard in another space someone said half breeds can't even talk about hip hop, but that's another discussion. I grew up here in Sacramento, California, and there was only one major label that was doing anything out here. It was called Black Market Records, and it was ran by a guy named Cedrick and stuff like that. And he produced Sebo and Brother Lynch and those type of people. And I learned from him like how the music industry works, and it's just plain and simple. These people will buy your whole catalogs and then just share them and distribute it, whatever it is that they can. They just put it on the bookshelves. They just make sure it goes on Spotify. They make sure it goes on YouTube. They make sure, and that's all they do. And a lot of people be selling out their catalogs for like $10,000, $5,000, $200, whole catalogs. But that's not here nor there. The guy ended up, leaving Sacramento, went and flew over to Africa, and now he's doing Afro beats and stuff like that up there by, I think, New Nigerian stuff. So we do have a Black American out there that's doing, still creating the culture because, we know where it comes from. But that being said, Dwan, you're a music historian in my eyes. When I was growing up with these people, I was like in my teens and I was just in the moment and stuff. Met these people, Radar, all these, I even met Stevante Clark before his brother got killed, Stephon Clark. I knew them personally. I still know him. But what do you know about that time and era of Black Market Records? They also got sued, and then they also stopped producing for a long time, and then they just picked back up like somewhere around 2015. But what do you know about this?
I don't know too much about Black Market Records and what was going on in Sacramento, but I do know that basically every city had a black-owned label, and I like hearing stories like this, you know what I mean? Because it's almost impossible to keep up with it because we're some entrepreneurial ass people. And to go along with the drug game, the best way to wash your money in drugs and illegal activities is through music. And let's tell the truth. Who do we learn that from? The small hats and the Italians. They're mafias. That's how their mafias in the 19 teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, even do now, washed their money. So when during Prohibition, the black bootleggers, Black Swan Records, I'm not accusing them, but a lot of your money, there's a boom in black record labels in the 20s. And then they were killed out as the 20s went on through the 30s. The war and everything killed it, the economy, killed a lot of the black-owned labels of the Great Depression. Then you see another bubbling up of black-owned record labels in the 40s and the 50s, in the 60s. And it happens usually because people, when they make money, they got to legitimize their money. And they usually do it through music. Music has always been gangster. That's why. Although that's another reason why I'm doubly don't like this whole play gangster rap shit. Because everybody in music, nigga, Chuck Berry would shoot your monkey ass, nigga. Fats Water carried a pistol. Barry White carried a pistol in his piano bench. Music has always been gangster. But when we get on that stage, let's think about something different. You know what I mean? But what happened is when you had in the 80s, you had the crack epidemic. Well, the crack epidemic made a lot of millionaires, a lot of people a lot of money. So you started bringing more and throughout the 90s. So 80s and the 90s, you got a lot of black-owned labels getting brought up. People don't know. It was Anita Baker's demo was funded by Freeway Rick Ross. Yeah, even on the R&B side of the game. You know, he wouldn't, all that sultry, beautiful Anita Baker music wouldn't have happened if it weren't for the streets. Freeway Rick paid for that demo. So it's a lot of stories of black labels and then people who didn't quite become a label, but they put up 50,000 here, 20,000 there to put a young rapper or young singer on a tour. Or a cast that was pimping in the street, they were the ones that put up that 10 grand to pay for that demo. To put together 4 or 5 kids in the neighborhood and set up a circuit, going to Oakland, going to Dallas, going to St. Louis, or whatever cities they had connections in, to put them out there on that road. And it's a lot of stories like that. And a lot of times when those labels fail because somebody within the organization who their money. No, the 90s, when you go through it, most of our stuff fell out in the 90s with these injunction laws, gang laws, RICO laws, and when all those black men got thrown in jail in the 90s, usually it was integral. If it wasn't the person who owned the label, it was somebody who go to that label because again, a lot of that stuff was started by street people, like it is with all races for you coon niggas out. All music is started by street gangsters. All of it. From every race. That's just what it is. Because corporations don't invest in things that they don't know. That's something that the streets do. And so because we have so many stories and so many things that we created, but because a lot of the war on drugs, the war on Black America put so many black men in prison in the 90s. A lot of bullshit that went on destabilized those companies. And then the government took the drugs on the street. And so drug dealing now is the equivalent to working at Home Depot. You ain't making no fucking money. But so we see a deep in what it is. But yeah, so it's a strong connection between the two. Did you want to say before you
Okay,
drop it down?
just one more question. Okay. Okay, what do you think is the genre of music in Sacramento for the very little that you know about it? What category of music do you think it's going to fall under, and what do you call it?
It's a little bit of everything. I know Sacramento from my musician friends that go up there. They got a cool R&B soul culture that reliable place they can go to up there. Hip hop. I don't know if I would call it any one thing. It's anywhere black people are, it's a lot going on. It really comes down to what you're into. I don't spend that much time studying Sacramento because I'm from LA and I can't stand the fucking Sacramento Kings when they tried to cheat my motherfucking Lakers, fuck Pages, bitch, and Chris Webber. So for that reason, I never really gave a fuck about Sacramento. No, I'm just playing, but yeah.
Okay, I land my plane. I'm off the stage, but thank you for letting me speak.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I want to make it very clear. I don't give a fuck about Sacramento. Now, Oakland, Black Voltron, my brother. Brother. But one thing I will say is one thing, and I know about more stuff going on there, but I answered that question this way for a reason. We are a very diverse group of people. And we're never into one thing, in my observation. Whether I go to East Coast and Philly. I had such a dope time in Philly last month. The soulful folks up there, they even them, they're not in the one neo soul. That's like one of the meccas of it, but that ain't the only thing that they into. DC is in the go-go, but that ain't the only thing that they into. Now we do have dominant sounds. Like here's an example: LA. If you ask 100 people what's the LA sound, they're gonna tell you West Coast hip hop. Press an emoji in the chat room if you agree. If you say what's the sound of LA, people are gonna be like gangsta rap. 9 out of 10 people are gonna say that. Press some kind of emoji if you agree. 9 out of 10 people are gonna say something to deal with rap, something to deal with gangster. They're not gonna tell you R&B. And this being home of R&B, and the place that R&B still thrives. Lisa James has dropped a new dope ass album out of here. Alex Isley, Terrace Martin, jazz. Here in LA, look, man, the little hip hop shows be at clubs. The jazz shows be at theaters. This coming weekend in LA, next week, it's already sold out. Erykah Badu, Kamasi Washington, and Herbie Hancock are headlining 3 days of music. And they just announced this festival a month and a half ago. It's a 3-day festival, and it's going to be a whole bunch of acts. Robert Glasper's going to be on it. Terrence Martin going to be on it. Kamasi Washington, Thundercat. All these cats are going to be on it. And this particular weekend event is covering like 3 different theaters. It's almost sold out. The 3-day passes, some passes left for individual. Shit sold out. Jazz. Kamasi Washington just sold 18,000 seats at the Hollywood 3 months ago. Herbie Hancock just sold the Hollywood Bowl out 2 months ago. He's right back in town. Selling out this venue, and then he's going to be right back in town in February. They're not going to tell you jazz is the sound of LA, but based on ticket sales, shit. Jazz concerts be selling more tickets than the hip hop shows out here. Fact. And yes, there be black people in them, in the audience. R&B, the jazz festival, like the jazz festival scene in LA is, if you want to be around grown folks in LA, you got to come be out here in the summer. You got to be at jazz festival season. You got to be at the Playboy Jazz Festival, the Hollywood Bowl, the Gardena Jazz Festival, Inglewood, Carson. And y'all, if you follow my Instagram and my Twitter, you see where I'll be at. I'll be at the festival. Nothing but black folks. Taste of Soul was out here last week. Taste of Soul they said 500,000 people. It was over 1 million. And nigga, Switch performed, the Whispers. It was Switch. It wasn't no rap performed at the Taste of Soul. It was not Boyz II Men. It was nothing but R&B. I'm drawing some blanks right now. Johnny, nothing but R&B in a gospel stage. Gospel and R&B. Over 1 million people on Chris show. Not one incident, not one shooting, not one fight. The only issue was getting past the Hebrew Israelites without the niggas starting to arguing with you. The only problems I had, like, let me get past these. I respect you, brothers in the purple shirts. I respect y'all, love y'all, but nigga, I do not want to fight right now. That was the only problem I had in Taste of Soul. Nigga, the culture, right? So we're an extremely diverse group of people. And one thing we got to do is start to open our minds up more to know that we don't have a monolithic sound. We're not a monolith. We have some areas where certain things may dominate more than others. That's true. But just because West Coast hip hop dominates the national scene more, and that's what we're known for, doesn't mean the best on the planet of Earth is coming out of LA right now. Brian Porter on trombone, Cameron Graves on keys. They got the Bruner brothers, Thundercat on the baddest bass player on the planet is Thundercat. LA. In Watts, Terrace Martin. These niggas grew up alongside Kendrick Lamar. That's what. Go back and look at the song credits on To Paper Butterfly. From what's his name? I'm drawing a blank. Tyler the Creator. Why is LA not known? Look at the out there music that he do. Why are we known for gangster shit? Well, we got Tyler, the Creator, that's from here also. That motherfucker's a worldwide phenomenon. We got what's his name on the EDM? I'm trying to blank to Flying Lotus. Flying Lotus be selling out 20,000 seat arenas doing LA's basically LA's version of house. 20, 30,000. This motherfucker travels the world. And he was a producer on To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar. To Pimp a Butterfly had jazz, EDM, black people from LA that got all these out there sounds from the same neighborhoods. Kendrick Lamar grew up in the same neighborhood as Tyler, the Creator, though. We diverse to the motherfucker. We can't. And that's why, and that goes in what we're saying. Should non-black people be allowed to speak on hip hop? No. Because when you deal with your Fat Joes and these people, these immigrant black people, non-black Americans tend, pay attention real quick. And non-black Americans, what's up, FBA Empress? Non-black Americans tend to like one thing that we do, one or two styles. Like when they're in the hip hop, they're in the hip hop. They don't want to hear no Frankie Beverly and Mays. They don't want to hear no En Vogue. They don't want to hear nothing. They want to hear hip hop. Well, us as black people, we are, no matter how deep we are as black Americans, no matter how deep we are into our music, whatever we prefer the most. You remember how it was back in the 90s? As long as they was putting it out, we was listening. Niggas would listen to Biggie and Escape. Niggas would listen to SWV, TLC, and Outkast, and the Goody Mob. And then when a Goody Mob go off, niggas is jamming to Hold On to Your Love by En Vogue. Niggas is jamming to Anita Baker back in the 80s. Niggas listen to Rakim, followed by Anita Baker. We've always done that. Am I wrong, black people? If it's out there, we listen to it. For us, just in the last 10, 15 years, the industry purposely killed off R&B. But for the little R&B that they put out, we still fuck with it. It'd be them other people that just stick with one genre. We'd be listening to a little bit of this, a little bit of that. When it's available and it's accessible to us. One of the major issues we have is sometimes we tend to only listen to what's available and accessible. So as they've, I'm sorry, not what's promoted. We listen to whatever's promoted to us. The issue is over the last 15 years, they've promoted less wholesome, like genuine good R&B. So our consumption of it has gone down. But not because we don't listen to it, it's because of lack of awareness is even out there. You know, but Jill Scott ain't struggling. Erykah Badu ain't struggling. All these they supported by us. So we got a mindset of having one dominant or predominant thing that we're into. When we're on natural state, when we're listening, music is good, we listen to all of it if it's being produced by a black person. Remember, white folks they don't know what to like until we like it first. There's nothing that we do now that we didn't like first. I remember that. I'm gonna get to the last round, a few speakers, then we're gonna get up out of here. I'm gonna let you finish. You guys say the Negro Black Knight, and if anyone else want to say something, hit the mic. I'll let you say something real quick before we get up out of here. Go ahead.
Yeah, you can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yep. You're
all right, yo. First things first, brother. How you gonna diss my man Anderson .Paak? You skipped over that, brother. He's from the West Coast.
Before you go. Before you finish. I genuinely apologize. My absolute favorite out of all of them. Like I listen to Anderson .Paak more than anybody, and he's a drummer like me. So I must say, I apologize for not mentioning Anderson .Paak. I remember watching him when he was Breezy Lovejoy in Lamert Park. Him, Terrence Martin to be on sax, Kamasi be on sax, Thundercat to be on bass, and then nigga Breezy Lovejoy get off the drums and spit. And I met him a couple months ago. Good dude. We exchanged numbers and everything, man. So I gotta say, brother, I apologize for not mentioning Anderson .Paak. Now go ahead.
I went to his concert on the East Coast. He was at Mohegan Sun, throwing it down, man. Like the brother is nasty on the drum set. Brother could play his ass off. Like I that was one of the best concerts I ever went to. my whole entire life. So he a West Coast brother. And how you gonna call Exhibit a gangster rapper? The speed of light had nothing to do with gangbanging, brother. How you gonna throw that jacket on?
The persona, he wasn't gangster. He wasn't from no set. It was the whole persona I was done with. 2000, nigga, take that tank top off, nigga, and dress like a grown ass man.
Wait. First of all, I'm gonna have to defend Exhibit. I'm not even from the West Coast like that, but I like that brother's music. The Speed of Life was one of the best albums, and We Don't Die, We Multiply one, the one when he was on with the silver thing. He had a couple of good albums that specifically talked to some of the issues in our community and some of the things from Black veterans and a lot of things that he tapped into. So like it hit me on a different level. So like shout out to that brother. Like don't he ain't no gangbanger. he might that was the white media throwing that on that brother. But he was far beyond that. You get what I feel like they didn't know how to market and sell that brother music the way that he should have made more sales. They didn't know how to market him, if you get what I mean.
I agree with that. Yeah, I definitely agree with that part of it. They didn't know how to market him, but still say at the time I could not stand anybody in that image. So I saw what he was doing to my goddamn city, hated it. But no, I do make clear I do not put in the game. I just don't like it. I just don't like and that's with me saying I love that Jesus Peace album. Now outside, like I love the album. Now I can love certain people a piece of art, and still not really fuck with their whole persona and all that shit. And that's how it is with the game. Everything the game represents, I don't fuck with. But that Jesus Peace album, that shit hopped in the motherfucker.
Yeah, it was a hot album, yo. I just wanted to tease you about those two things because I'm a music head, and I'm like Exhibit gangster rapper. So he said that I was in the comment section being trolling about that, just laughing about it to myself. But I really liked him as an artist.
Yeah.
But I want to say,
for me,
Brother Dwayne, I want to say thank you for giving me a mic, and I want to say good conversation about this space and about what you're talking about because it's a much needed conversation. All jokes aside, though.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated. And I must say, no, Ice Cube is my all-time favorite rapper. My favorite album of all time is Death Certificate. One of my favorite albums of all time. When I say album, I don't mean just hip hop. I mean jazz, blues, of all cross genres. Death Certificate is one of my top 3 most listened to albums I could at any time. With that being said, I did not like West Side Connection. I didn't. When all that Gangsters Don't Dance, We Boogie, I was like, oh shit, here we go again. I just Mac down, we got the light skinned gangster and Mac 10. Oh God, here we go. When I come to you, I did not fuck with West Side Connection. Ice Cube is my muse, not just with music, also in comedy. When I started stand-up comedy, my goal was to be to comedy what Ice Cube was to music. Coming in, taking heads off. I don't give a fuck who you are. Fuck him and his crew. That's always been my point of view in comedy. I don't give a fuck about none of these niggas. And I'm still that way. And for those of you who in LA, you want to see me on stage this coming Wednesday, me and Tashina Arnold. We got a dope ass music night that we do together. I got one comedian actually. I'm not gonna do two more. I'm not gonna do comedians. This is a music based night. Comedians I do bring are fire, I promise. But I'm hosting. I'm also paying. We got some dope ass classic R&B artists from that surprise and show up. I can't tell you who it is, or few that may show up. Then you're going to know who they are, and you've heard their music. And also we're going to feature a handful of singers that you have not heard their music, but they motherfucking ass off. I got a band, drummer, drums, bass, keys, lead guitar, conga player, got background singers, I got loud horns. Yes, we're not having the keyboard players, not horn parts. We got horns that are going to play those parts. Grand arrangements that we have. So we're not only talking this shit on Twitter, we bring it to you live and in person. And I got my premiere next. Everyone here needs to go to DwannB.com, and my documentary premiere is next Sunday, a week from today. And it's a fundraiser. Documentary's free. All right? Tell you right now, documentary's free. This is a fundraiser and watch party, so we can all watch this together and have a live Q&A. The things that I present in the documentary, I want you guys to stay around. It's only 30 minutes. I want you guys to stay around and ask questions and put me to the test and see if I'm bullshit or learn more. I put everything I say out there on the line. I ain't here to hide behind, I'm not here to hide behind that bullshit ass Fat Joe like, so you ain't gonna tell me I'm fair. Nah, nigga. I'm giving you names, dates, locations, titles, and information you can look up. Because I wasn't there in 1776. But I know George Washington was a fucking president in 1796 when he got elected to his second term. I know that he led. I have to be there. I wasn't in D.C., but I know that the mayor got set up by that bitch with that crack. Because he said, the bitch set me up, right? You don't have to be places to know things happen. I wasn't in the Delta in the fucking 20s. But I know the blues came from there. So that's what we're here doing it for. This is our overall mission. So it's a watch party. We're doing a Q&A premiere watch. This is a watch party. That's what it is. The documentary's free. But what you're doing is you're funding my series when you join this watch party. You're funding my series. We turned this into a whole series, and I'm breaking it down with the artists themselves, the promoters, the people. It's a whole ass mission that we got going here. Miss G, you got something to say before I get people up out of here? If y'all go ahead, Miss G.
You know what? You just really I'm really proud of you. Like, you're evolving the music space, and it's adding a level of maturity to it, but it's us taking back the control. And when we control and create the evolution of the music, the sound is developing. What I feel is about to happen right now is evolution. What I'm feeling is a new an ignitement of like the Chitlin circuits. We need to do something where we go from DC, or the DMV rather, to LA. We need to have artists. We collect our artists and our people. I'm gonna hit you up on the back end. Because that's all I'm feeling right now. It's time for us to get a Chitlin circuit in motion again, and us pull in the artists and the sound, and that's gonna be a powerful thing. And we could do like close it out in LA or close it out in DC or Maryland, wherever. Take it up to New York, wherever our people are, because we have to show them what we have always done. As a matter of fact, this ain't even about them. It's showing our people that we always control our shit. So I think that's the direction we have to go into. I love the fact that you and Tashina are doing the shows over in LA. I wanted to come. I thought it was gonna be on a weekend. That's why I was like, but
we're gonna do it every other Wednesday.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna be there the next
We're doing
time.
every other Wednesday.
Okay, that's good. I love it. So I'm coming down there, but I really think we need to activate a Chitlin circuit. We got our brother Raheem. He could set something off down in Georgia. And we can have some artists like doing some traveling, and we can like even down to the sound, right? We and remember what we just said about streaming. We host these events. These artists can be selling clothing at the events. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. It's so many dope things that we can do right now, just to make sure that our people stay in that power move. And I absolutely love what you're doing over there in DC. And we have some amazing musicians. We need to start highlighting them again and not allow them to phase our people out of the musical instrumental space. So thank you again for that, and for letting me host with you, and for everything that you're doing.
I appreciate that because we got to take it back. Like nothing's stopping us from creating these things in our cities. Here in LA, the live, we used to have a thing called R&B Live back in the day that showcased a lot of these national artists that you see now. You know what I mean? But we haven't had nothing on a high level like that in a while. So it's like I got tired of waiting for someone else to start it. So I said, "Fuck it, I'm doing it." And again, let me say this as a testament to people. Don't let something screwing you over stop you. All right? Don't get discouraged. If you have a vision, you have a plan, you got to do it. And you got to do it in spite of what happens in your opposition. People who follow my YouTube channel have heard this story, but I had this same vision 10 years ago. A friend of mine, nigga actually played in the NBA, millionaire, investing in his restaurant in Beverly Hills. And when he was on the road with his team, I would be there as they're putting the restaurant together. And then it was like once the restaurant was put together and everything, it's time to open up. I was gonna do a live music and comedy show. And everything set up. This particular person was somebody I was very close to. I was best man at this person's wedding the year before. Black. Took my show, took my idea, gave it to a different couple. Went from being best man to this dude's wedding. Being an integral part of his NBA career. Now I'm talking about a freshman friend. And I had to on Facebook and see my vision be hosted by somebody else. And the person who did it thought was my best friend. One of my best friends. I have a lot of good friends. I'm blessed. I have a lot of good friends. But I thought was one of my best friends. Why would a millionaire need to take from me? I work with kids in South Central LA, getting paid pennies. Why would a millionaire do this to me? Why would my friend do this to me? And it bothered me for a while. And it took a while to get over it, but I got over it. And tried it again. And now it's happening on a much bigger way than I ever imagined. That's what happens when you be like, nigga, fuck anybody else. We ain't got time to cry. We ain't got time to cry about racism. We ain't got time to cry about other niggas. You dig? Because you always get the mother niggas, man, black folks be the main ones. Yes, we're around each other most. So, of course, a black person is more likely to steal from me because I'm a black more. Just a numbers game. It didn't fucking take away my faith from black people. It didn't take away from my faith from myself. Good enough for somebody to try to run with it. Now, long story short, the shit fell flat on his face. It only lasted for like six. No, that's like 3 or 4 weeks. The shit fell. It had millions of dollars behind it. So, yeah, it fell flat on his face. But, yes, I got screwed over before. Yes, I got screwed over by a black person. But that don't mean I stopped. That don't mean I stopped trusting black people. That don't mean I stopped loving black people and giving black people the first chance. Just because one nigga did some shady shit. That one nigga don't represent all black people. And if this vision I have is to be true, if it really is out here to help people out, then motherfucking God gonna help me get it that way. And there ain't a goddamn human on earth that can stop it. And so when it comes down to it, that's all of us with whatever thing we have inside of us. All of us got a thing inside of us. Whatever that thing is, you got to answer that thing. You got to answer the call of that thing. And stop running from that shit. Don't let fear get in your way. And don't let rejection get in your way. And don't let shady people get in your way. Shady people exist. Fuck them. Do it anyway. And that's where I'm at with it. You know, I was inspired. I got to see, you know, if like we got to see what cats like Tariq did with his documentary. I never wanted to fucking do a documentary. You got to see what Jason Black did with his. Again, I was at both of them premieres. I didn't want to know. I did not want to do a documentary as recently as a year and a half ago. But my man and son, like people was really y'all on Twitter Spaces, people on Facebook, y'all was in my ear. Want to do a documentary? I'm like, nigga, I ain't no documentarian. I play the drums sometimes. I crack jokes. I'm a card reader. I'd rather be reading cards, nigga. I charge $3.50 an hour. You think? And I get clients. I'd rather be doing that. Honest to God truth than doing a documentary. I'd rather have like 5 or 6 reading clients a week and then go tell jokes at night and then play the drums every now and again, make my money that way. That's what I'd rather be doing than a goddamn documentary. I see all that shit Tariq go through. I don't want to go through that. They took that man's crowdfunding down last week. I don't want to go through that shit. Jason Black got to walk around in anonymity because of these jackasses out here. I don't want to go through that shit, man. I really don't. I'm an LA nigga, not a Hollywood nigga. I don't give a fuck about fame. But as I looked at the landscape and I saw that my people, we don't know this information. And there's nobody out there doing documentaries from the angle that I see. I'm not saying their documentaries are bad or whatever. Their documentaries are great. Yeah, I learned from documentaries, so I'm not here to criticize nobody else on nothing. That's how I learn and through books and documentaries and helping people I know. So, but still, through all the documentaries I've seen, never saw anyone approaching it from my angle. I see people this genre, see people talking about that genre, we're talking about this and that genre, but they're not tying it in together. And I've always seen our music as a holistic. This isn't a new point of view for me. This is how I felt in 1996 when I was getting introduced to culture, to bebop. When one of my music OGs that I was learning how to play the drums, when he introduced me to Dizzy Gillespie and started telling me the stories of what was going on in bebop, my own connection and my own 16-year-old brain said, "Oh, that shit sound like hip hop." I said, "This shit not even." When everybody else was listening to Biggie and Tupac, I was learning Dizzy Gillespie. I was learning Duke Ellington and Earth, Wind and Fire. And I was listening. I was at church. My people in the church, one member played the congos for Rolls Royce. The trumpet player from Earth, Wind and Fire was in my band. You know, our bass player used to play behind Stevie Wonder. The music director, his dad wrote Skip Scarborough wrote some of the biggest hits in R&B history. So I was a 16-year-old sponge listening to these niggas talk every Wednesday at rehearsal. I was just a sponge, man, and learning. So I've always seen our music as a holistic. And then when I got into college, I took so many music classes in college. Music history, jazz appreciation, classical appreciation, jazz history, music theory. I took these classes as extra. Some of them, sometimes they weren't even part of my major, but I just wanted to know. And so it was like, you know what? I got this body of information. I know how to talk. That shit come natural for me. And I got a degree in talking. So let me just. And then when I said, okay, I'm open to the idea, my homeboy, who I've been knowing forever, he's a producer. He's behind the camera. He knows the other end that I don't know. So let's partner up, black man. Let's work together. At the same time, I partnered up with this black man. Black man I was working with on a different show did some crazy shit to me. Not to bring that up, but to bring it up and say that just because, again, another person may have done some shady, crazy shit, it didn't take away my faith from black people. It didn't take away my faith from myself. And like, I really got y'all to thank for encouraging me to do this shit. So please, please, please go to my website and register for the live stream. Again, the documentary is free. You're gonna see the documentary. If you want to wait a month or two for me to release it on YouTube, you can go ahead and wait. You'll see it for free. But the Q&A is going to help me fund a full-on season to really get much deeper in what you're going to see in this 30 minutes of the documentary. And then again, if you're in LA, you can come experience this shit live and in person on Wednesday night, this coming Wednesday, live and in person. Get your ticket. I'm gonna bring this shit on the mic in person. and I might even get on the drums. You're gonna have to come and find out. But for everything major, I'll see you there hopefully. And again, Major, I gotta thank Major. Major is the person in the Major X did the graphic, bigger than hip. He stepped up. He said, "Man, Dwayne, hey, how can I help?" I thank him for that. So when we doing this, you know, don't worry about what other people doing. When you got a vision, people gonna come. People gonna be there for you. And so that's just what it is, and that's how it is for everybody in this room. Y'all got some dope ass talents that once you tap into it and cultivate it and push it out, it's gonna hit and impact because we need all stories told. We need all skills on the deck. All skills we need right now. All right, y'all can find this shit on YouTube tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm in rehearsal for the show. I'm gonna be on the drums. I'm gonna be talking to you niggas tomorrow. But you will see this as a sometime tomorrow on YouTube if you missed any part of it. All right. Go to the DwannB, the register, and then hit the GoFundMe also to help to give additional support on top of the live stream pay-per-view. Go to GoFundMe. It's all on DwannB.com right now. All right. I'm out.